Hello logical thinkers. Today we are going to solve a LeetCode problem 2149 rearrange array elements by sign. It is a median problem. You are given a zero indexed integer array nums of even length. This is an important point to note, consisting of an equal number of positive and negative integers. What you have to do is you should return the array of nums such that the array follows the below given conditions. These are the three conditions. Every consecutive pair of integers should have opposite sign. What does it mean is, in the output, if you start with a positive number, the next number should be negative. Positive, negative, positive, negative. And then for all integers with the same sign, the order in which they were present in nums is preserved. What does that mean is, if you see the negative number, it is in order -2, -5, -4 in the input array. So in the output array, you have to preserve the same order -2, -5 and -4. Even that holds true for the positive number as well. 3, 1, 2. So 3, 1, 2. You should not juggle it as 3, 2, 1. That is invalid. It should be 3, 1, 2. And then finally, the rearranged array begins with a positive number, which means in the output array, it should start with a positive number. Our final step is to return the modified array. So this is the entire problem statement we are going to solve. So now let us dive into the solution. So this is the input array you have. The name of the input array is A and the output array, the name is B. So I will define the pointers right now. So our primary step is to iterate the input array and then come up with a solution. So let me keep a pointer I for the input array. And in the output array, I am going to keep two pointers. One is the positive index pointer and another one is the negative index pointer. So in the output array, in which place these two pointers has to be placed? There are clues in the conditions. The rearranged array begins with a positive integer. So the positive index should start at the 0th index. So the positive index will be pointing towards the 0th index. And there is one more clue. That clue is every consecutive pair of integers should have opposite sign. So if we start with a positive number, eventually the next number will be a negative number. So as a result, what we are going to do is, we are going to point the negative index towards the first index. So when you have a positive number over here, eventually the negative number will go here. Positive, negative, positive, negative. So this is how it works. So now let us start iterating the input array. The first element in the input array is 3. And that is greater than 0, which means it is a positive number. If it is a positive number, we will make use of this positive index pointer. So what we are going to do is, we are going to copy the value from the input array and then we are going to place it in the output array B using this positive index. So now what will happen is, A of I. So this will be signed to B of positive index. That means B of positive index value is 0. It is pointing towards 0 as you see over here, which is equal to A of 0. As you see, the I is pointing towards 0. So A of 0 value will be copied to B of 0. In this case, A of 0 is holding 3 and that will be copied to B of 0, which is 3. Once that is done, what happens to this positive index? Usually what we will do, we will increment it by 1. But in this case, we have to increment it by 2. The reason is, let me tell you, pos index plus 2. The reason is, once you place an element in positive element in this particular index, the next element will eventually be a negative number. The negative number is handled by this negative index. So the primary purpose of this positive index is to move to the places where we can place the positive number. In 0th index, we have placed the positive number. So the next place where the positive number can be is index 2. So as we know, positive, negative, positive. So from 0, we have to add 2 and then we have to land on the next positive number. So when we fill this particular second index, we will add it by 2 and then we will move it to 4. So this positive index moves to 2. Okay, this is how it works. Now let us go to the second element. So the I gets incremented. The second element is 1. That is also a positive number. So now what happens is the same step happens. So this one. So P of positive index is 2 is equal to A of 1. Here high, right? I is 1. So now this element is copied towards here, not here, this place. So now it holds 1. And that is completed. And then again I'm incrementing it by 2. So it goes over here. And now I'm going to go to the third element, which is minus 2. Minus 2 is less than 2, less than 0. So it is a negative number. So now we have to make use of this negative index. Now what happens? B of negative index is equal to A of I. B of negative index is 1. It is pointing towards 1 if you see over here, is equal to A of I. I, if you see, I is this particular place. So the index is 2. So from A of 2, the value is copied to B of 1. So from here, it goes to over here. So minus 2. Now we have to increment the negative index. The same procedure for positive index, we will be following it for the negative index. So this will be striked out and then it will move to this particular place, plus 2. So 1 plus 2 gives 3. And the next element, that is also a negative number. So once it is a negative number, we will be putting it to the negative index here. So minus 5, and we will be incrementing the negative index. So similarly, we will be filling up the other values as well. Now, you might have a question, when I am at this particular 4th position here, if I increment the positive index, that will go 4 plus 2 is equal to 6 out of bounds. But the main beautiful area is they have given that there is equal number of positive and negative numbers. So no way you will go out of bound in the output array. So once you have filled 3 positive numbers, totally there are 6 values. The equal number of positive and negative number means 3 positive, 3 negative. Once you have filled 3 positive number, there won't be any fourth positive number which might lead you to array out of bound issue. Now let us go through the program. So this is the Java program. First I'm reading the input array length and then I'm creating an output array, that is the answer array. As you know, the positive index starts with number 0, the negative number with 1, and I am iterating the input array. This condition is to check whether the number is a positive or negative number. If it is a positive number, sorry. So if it is a positive number, what will happen is the value from the input array will be copied to the output array, and then the positive index is being incremented by 2. If it is a negative number, the same procedure as positive number is followed, but instead of pos index, we are going to use negative index. Once the entire iteration is completed, all the slots in the output array will be completely filled, and then I'm finally returning the answer. In this way, this entire program works. I hope you liked the video. If you have any queries, you can post it in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe.